What's up, everybody? Sunday Sessions, episode 36. Super excited to be here with y'all. The purpose of these calls is to deliver information to help you build your wholesale businesses, Amazon businesses, private label, e-commerce businesses, whatever type of business you're building to sell products to the end consumer. We're here to help you figure out solutions to your problems. So my name is Eric Castellano. I'm the owner and founder of Amazon Lit. I've been in the game for about a decade. I ship about 3 million orders a year, and the goal is to deliver tons of insights. So let's get right into it. Any questions you have, please ask away. More than grateful to answer any questions. First time being here, welcome. What's up, official prime figure? So if this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Introduce yourself in the chat so we know who you are. Where's everybody chiming in from today? I'm over here in beautiful New Jersey. It's like 35 degrees outside. It was snowing a little bit last night. Um, so stay warm, especially if you're in those Northeast states and it's freezing. A couple updates before we get started here. So a few things in the pipeline. Number one, ASD. It's happening February 26th to March 1st in Las Vegas. I highly encourage you attend ASD if you're in the Amazon space, especially if you're looking to get into wholesale or already do wholesale. There'll be about 1,000 vendors there. Even if only 10% of them are opportunities for you in your business based on geographical location, pricing on products, availability, that's still 100 potential new vendors that you can meet with at ASD. So get your tickets to ASD, www.asdonline.com. It's absolutely free. I have no affiliation with ASD. I don't get paid to promote them. I promote them because it's a trade show that I've been going to for the past 7 years, twice a year. Every year we do about $5 or $6 million in sales revenue. So I share it with all of you because I go, you should go. You get the opportunity to meet with me in person. We can hang out, do some networking. You get to meet with other Amazon sellers. So it's a pretty special thing. I see some questions coming in. I got one more update. The second update is if you're in EsellersRI currently, congratulations. I love having you in the community. We are working on 2.0. 2.0 is an update of 1.0, which dives deeper into the data, finding distributors, how to leverage discounts, and essentially how to grow your business in even more detail than you're currently growing it now. So we'll be piecemealing that out as it's finished. And the goal is in the next few months to have it fully updated. So we got a question over here on YouTube. What is the best software for wholesale? So I recommend 3 softwares. Actually, I'm going to recommend 4. The first one you need to have for wholesale is Keepa. 100% you need Keepa without a doubt. It's a no-brainer. It's like $20 a month. You need it. The second one will be a profit calculator. We like to use AZ Insight. AZ Insight is a Chrome extension. It lives on the Amazon listing. You can see your estimated profits, the estimated sales volume. You're also able to check out the different variations and see which variation is moving the best based on customer feedback and reviews. You're also able to see the UPC, the ACID information at the top of AC Insight. It lets you know if the item has any restrictions, if you need approval to sell it, if it's a hazmat, if it's enrolled in 2D transparency. There's also a small light calculator on AZ Insight. So it's the move for us and for you as well. The third software you need is some sort of UPC scraper. If you're in Inner Circle, you're using Source Correct. Another great one we suggest is Scan Unlimited. Tactical Arbitrage has one as well. They're all very similar. And then the fourth and final must-have for your Amazon business is a repricer, right? So you need a repricer. Our suggestions are for repricers. There's dozens of different repricers out there, but our suggestion is when you're selling around, $10,000 or less in inventory, or a pricer like Be Cool will suffice. Between 10 and 25,000 in monthly inventory, a repricer like Go Aura will suffice. And then we suggest anything over that $25,000 a month, upgrading to a repricer that's more advanced like SellerSnap. So SellerSnap's about between $250 and $500 a month, depending on the size of your business. And we absolutely suggest leveraging it. You know, a lot of people are concerned to invest in higher priced softwares for their business, but when you're talking about managing the pricing on your Amazon listings, you got to make sure you're partnering with the right repricer, because the difference in a couple percentage points in daily buy box share could mean thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in lost or missed opportunities by using the wrong repricer. All right, got some other questions in here. I have a question. Can we get a buy box on a higher price with the help of a repricer? So it's possible. You know, price point has a huge, holds huge weight when Amazon's deciding the price or the buy box, who they're going to give the buy box to. So pricing is a huge, huge weight holder in that decision. So yes, it is possible to win at a higher price, but most likely, usually the person with the more competitive price is going to win the buy box. Awesome. So Tech just said he ran his calculations on his production cost per ASIN. It's cost about $1.20 to get a product out the door. So for him, his minimum buying requirements is $3, which makes sense, because if it's costing him $1.20 to get the product out the door and he's buying at a minimum profit of $3, you would assume that this gentleman would be making at minimum $1.80 in net profits on every single order he sells. Then it's just a matter of scaling it out. Sell $10,000 or set 10,000 orders a month times $1.80. That's $18,000 in net profits. You know, double that, $20,000 order a month. That's $36,000 in net profits. So you just keep scaling it like this. Daisy said, I saw you last year at ASD and I was paralyzed. But this year I will say hello and thank you so much for all your help. Please say what's up to me. Stop me, say what's up. I love meeting you all. I love hanging out with you all. I love talking to you all and learning more about you. That's one of my main priorities in life, is to meet as many people around the world as possible. So please don't be shy. Say what's up. Tap me on my shoulder. If I'm in a conversation, just wait a couple minutes and get my attention. I want to talk to you. Yeah, we're going to AS or Expo West after ASD. We will be at Expo West, 100%. We'll be doing a walkthrough for Inner Circle and also a walkthrough for EsellersRI. Unfortunately, one of the, I guess it's not really a downside, but as Amazon continues to grow bigger and bigger, we begin to help more people. You know, we had to be a little more restrictive about our events. So now, like our trade show walkthroughs, they're only available to people who are already members of EsellersRI. It's a benefit of being part of our community, right? Why would I offer it to someone who's not in our community when I can help the people who are already invested in themselves, who are already committed to be guided by us? Like, those are the people I want to invest in. So the walkthroughs are exclusive to EsellersRI members. So if you're in the community, the post is pinned right at the top of the Facebook group. I'm buying from a manufacturer direct now. The company is sort of like a far smaller Procter & Gamble. They use an inside sales company instead of their own sales rep. Is this something to worry about? So listen, if the pricing makes sense, then it's not something to worry about. But one thing I've experienced over the years is that usually when you go manufacturer direct, they have much higher MOQs, usually around 10 to 20,000 pounds, which a purchase order is around $30 to $50,000 in MOQs. And also, normally their prices are more competitive than they are from distributors, because they're distributing to distributors, right? So let's say their price for this mug is $5 in their manufacturer catalog at tier 3 pricing. You won't qualify for tier 1 pricing to get this mug at $4.25, but I promise you'll find some distributors who sell this mug for probably $4.50. So we like to circumnavigate manufacturers. You know, companies like Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Reckitt Benckiser, some of these companies have been around since the late 1800s. They've been around for over a century. They're OGs in the game. You know, they're not giving exclusives to specific Amazon sellers. They're opening very little direct accounts unless you can meet their volume. But we purchase all their products from reputable distributors and wholesale accounts. Cheers. What else we got? Chia. As in, yeah, it's likely a broker. Yeah, absolutely, J-Dub. Best category for beginners, any category you can make some money in. Any category you're currently approved to sell in is the best category. All right, it's going to be different for every seller account. Some of our biggest categories: health and beauty, personal care, home and kitchen, grocery. Those are some heavy hitters for us. Yeah, so Tech News wants to know a little bit more about BGHL. So BGHL is on night 2 of ASD. It is in the evening, so it won't affect your trade show experience. You can still attend the trade show in the morning, in the afternoon, meet with vendors, hang out with us, meet other Amazon sellers, and then around 5:30 p.m., BGHL starts. It's in downtown Las Vegas. We fly in speakers from all over the world. I got Vanessa Hung coming to do account health presentation. We got the owners of SellerSnap coming to talk about best repricing strategies. I'm in the works of getting some real estate professionals over there, so you know what to do with all the money you're making on Amazon. Dump it into some properties. We also do our award ceremony. So in the past couple months, we shipped out over $17 million in awards to our community in EsellersRI for monthly award achievements. So we bring you on stage, we recognize your achievement. It's an opportunity for everybody else to see what's possible. Because when you see a guy go on stage, you get $1 million a month award, and you're doing 50K a month, you're like, wow, I want to be that. Like, what do I got to do to get that $1 million a month award? And then we reserve some time for networking, right? So it's a great place because ASD is massive. There's going to be hundreds of sellers there, but they're all spread apart, right? The event is massive. So what we do is we host an event to get all those Amazon sellers in one room. We deliver presentations to help you grow your business. So for anybody who's going to ASD, you definitely want to lock in your BGHL ticket. The link is in our Instagram bio, or you can go to EsellersRI.com/BGHL and lock it in. It's about 65% sold out, so you don't want to wait too long. I see a lot of potential for suppliers on the East Coast. I'm from the West Coast. Do you think it's combined to buy from them? So Anthony, you got to run the numbers if it makes sense. So I'm on the East Coast. I rarely buy from any vendors in California. It just doesn't make sense for me shipping. We placed a pretty large Christmas tree order from a vendor I think we got it like late September. We got it. It was like a $60,000 Christmas tree order. The shipping to us ended up costing $7,000. And then because it was oversized, we had to ship it again. And that was another $7,000. So just between shipping, we were already $14,000 out. And by the time we sold the trees and we analyzed returns, we actually didn't make a dime. We broke dead even on the Christmas trees, right? So you got to run the shipping numbers if you plan on shipping for far locations. You got to run the numbers, right? And there's a few options when you're shipping from further states out. You can set up the carrier shipment, right? A lot of these vendors have no problem you sending a truck to their facility, especially if you can get cheaper rates. So a lot of times I'll use a broker like unishippers.com and I'll shop negotiated rates to try to get a better price than the wholesaler quoted me in their expected shipping price, right? Because if you could get it down from $1,000 to $600 using a carrier that you set up, that's huge savings. That's $4 in profits you're making right off the rip because you spent the time negotiating pricing. Yeah. We get tons of IP complaints. I would say we get a few a week. It's part of the game. It's nothing to be scared about. As long as you're operating your business legitimately and within Amazon's terms of service, there's no account health issue that can't be solved. There's no account health issue that can't be solved. Another huge benefit for being a part of EsellersRI is we offer a service. So if your account does get suspended, if you got an IP complaint you're concerned about, you can just connect with us and you'll be able to jump on a phone call with Sebastian for a small service fee, and he'll be able to troubleshoot the problem for you and get it solved immediately. So that's not an issue, and let me see here. I saw a great question. I lost it. We got Connecticut, Orlando, Southeast PA in the house, Ohio, South Florida, Georgia, Denmark. We got a little bit of everybody. Also, if you want to pop in this live, let me know. Let's see what else we got. How do you scale it? How do you scale at different revenue levels? Well, Vince, let me ask you this. What revenue level are you at? And then I'll tell you how to scale out from there. Hey, I would love to help. I have an account, but I'm stuck. Send me a DM. We'll get you onboarded into EsellersRI. Is the move. Is to move. And just a heads up too, if you're at a point in your business where I know a lot of you, you've been like, I've had phone calls with literally hundreds of you, right? I've talked to a lot of you personally. A lot of you have joined the community. And the one thing I will say is, as we update each sellers, right, the price point will go up, right? But one of the benefits of joining now is you get locked in. You get grandfathered into any future updates, right? So you can spend $3,000 now to join the community, or you can wait 3 months for when it's all updated and we bump up the price to $4,800, right? So you can get and start accessing it now, or you could pay, 50% more. It's really the ball's in your court. Either way, the value is still there. Whether it's 3,000, 4,800, or even 10,000, the value is still there. Do you have an employee dedicated to account health in your company? Yes, I do. Her name's Shanice. She's amazing. If you were outside the US, is there a way we can hire a broker who can open up accounts with wholesalers or distributors? Why aren't you opening up accounts with wholesalers and distributors? Just because you're outside the US doesn't mean anything. If you have a registered business inside the United States and you could provide a resale certificate and EIN information, it doesn't matter what country you're located in. Germany, Colombia, what's up? Is it worth it to use private LTL carrier rather than Amazon partner carrier? Absolutely. It's my preferred method. Usually Amazon partner carrier shipments take much longer to check into Amazon. But when you use a other carrier through that selection box, you have a little more control, usually because it's live unloaded, right? And what that means is when you use Amazon partner carrier, sometimes they make 30 stops before they get it to their facility. And also because Amazon usually owns that truck, sometimes it sits in the parking lot for 2 to 10 days before they even unload it. But when you use other partner or other carrier, they do a live unload, so it's dropped off the day that it's delivered. Pakistan, what's up? The exact link is EsellersRI.com/Amazon Lit FBA. You can just send me a DM on Instagram as well. One thing you'll notice is I don't publicly advertise the program, right? It's like we only let people into the community that I have a conversation with first. It's not like you can't. I'm sure if you Googled it, you could find it, but I don't advertise for it on Instagram. There's no direct link to join, but I could share it with you personally. Can I do wholesaling with Amazon fulfillment completely, or I have to have a warehouse? Yeah, you can leverage Amazon completely. Just keep in mind it's going to cut into your margins. Between using prep centers and Amazon prep services, it will cut into your margins, but there's a lot of people who sell on Amazon and they never touch or see the product, and they primarily do Amazon wholesale. I just got off the phone call. What was his name? Horatio. I had a call with him at 11:45 this afternoon, and he lives in Romania and he's selling on the US marketplace. And he's currently doing $10,000 a month from Romania in the US, right? And his goal is to do $25,000 a month because that will allow him to quit his job, right? So he's joining EsellersRI, and my goal is to help him do at least $25,000 a month to get started so he could quit his barbershop job and go all in on Amazon. That's the name of the game. What do you do with missing items? We have like 4 to 5K in missing items. Some we can open investigation, submit invoice. Some we can. It says investigation is complete. How do we combat that? Yeah, so the ones that you could open investigations, you're going to want to open an investigation and submit the relevant documentation to support your request. Usually it's invoicing from the past 180 to 365 days that supports the amount of items that were purchased and sent on that shipment. For the ones that are closed and investigation is complete, you will have to contact Amazon through a case log or a phone call to troubleshoot those issues. What else we got here? Hey, I saw that you have 15,000 plus ASINs with 5 stations. Do you think more ASINs equals more scalability? So I think it's important to explain the vernacular I use when I talk in my business. So when I say ASINs, I mean fully completed products leaving our warehouse. So it's really only probably spread across about 100 different products. We consider ASINs fully packaged orders. So, and yes, I also agree that going wider on your SKU count is the name of the game to get more buy box priority. 100% without a doubt, especially if you're new and scaling. You're trying to grow your seller feedback. You're trying to get more opportunity. You're trying to build relationships with wholesalers and vendors. So purchasing a wider SKU count will allow you to grow those relationships. And in turn, you'll get more buy box priority because if one day 50% of your listings aren't performing, the other 50% will be. How much would you start to pay your first employee? Well, your first employee should normally be a packer. And depending on what state you live in, a packer could be anywhere from, $12 to $20 an hour. Obviously, if you're out in Cali, I'm talking closer to 20. And then if you live in maybe a Midwest state like Kansas, you could probably get away with 12. But also keep in mind that you want to pay your employees well, right? For employee retention, quality control, and growth opportunities. I always believe that like paying minimum wage is not the way to build a business. First of all, nobody can even live off minimum wage. It's ridiculous. Just hop in Facebook right now and see how many people are selling like a coffee mug for $4, pickup only, right? That really explains the state that a lot of people are in, and that's not a good place to be in. Where you're selling coffee mugs for $4. It's just not a good place to be in. So like the goal is to learn skills that can allow you to build income and wealth for your future and your children's future or your family's future. So I use whatever carriers are on Unishippers, which for us it's like Central Supply, Estes. What's the new one that UPS is now called? I think like Freight First or something. But the carrier you select is all going to be dependent on the location you are geographically in the country because some carriers have more competitive rates. Like I know for the Northeast, the most competitive carrier I use is Central Transport. Super competitive, very efficient. They deal with a lot of Amazon shipments. But if you're in the Southwest, it might be different. How do I scale from 100K to 1 million? So I'm assuming you're doing wholesale right now. You're going to need a few more suppliers to get to that 1 million mark. You're also going to need to begin leveraging your current suppliers. And when I say leveraging your current suppliers, that means asking about net terms, right? Net terms are essentially a loan on the inventory for anywhere from 7 to 45 days normally. That will allow you to really scale out your operation. Also, branching into new categories will be huge for you as well, and being more efficient in your process. Something that a lot of people talk about all the time, which is great, is it's always like, how can I get the best discount on a product, right? How can I get this product 10% off? How can I get this product 15% off? How can I get this product 17% off? Which is great. Don't get me wrong. You should continue to think like that. But what I don't hear anybody ever talking about, except for us, is what about the 2 percentage points you're losing in your inefficient buying process, right? What about the 3 percentage points you're losing in your inefficient warehouse process, right? What about the other 2 percentage points you're losing in your inefficient shipping process? That's what is that? 3 plus 2 plus 2, that's 7 percentage points that you're losing on your gross and net margins because you're inefficient in your process. So the difference between $100,000 a month business and $1 million a month business is in your efficiencies. It's in your efficiencies because you can't do what you're doing to operate your $100,000 a month business and your $1 million a month business. The wheels will fall off. They'll fall apart. What's our cost to prep a unit, including polybags, labor, and labels? We're right around $1 all in. The course is $3K. Alicio.Cash said he wants to do $20,000 a month. What would you suggest he needs to invest in inventory? $8,000. Your cost of goods will be about 40% of your sales revenue. J Dub, if a supplier gives you net 30, will they typically let you pay the invoice with a credit card, or will it be wire? Typically, it's ACH or wire transfer with the net terms. But it depends on the supplier. There's definitely some suppliers that have no problem taking CC payments. We use a repricer to reprice all of it. Moroccan Boss Lady. So, Be Cool, Go Aura, Seller Snap. These are all great repricers. You need a repricer as you scale out your business. Eric, big fan from Southern California. How do you get best rates from your suppliers or high volume purchases and meeting MOQ enough? No, it's not enough. Everybody can do that. Anybody can literally place a high volume purchase and meet an MOQ. You're not special doing that. What's really going to set you apart is your relationship with them and your willingness to grow. So when I say willingness to grow, a lot of times something most people don't consider is you're always wondering about your company, but why don't you put yourself in their shoes and wonder about their company a little? So whipping up a quick little email, hey, Happy New Year. I'm grateful for our relationship. We did $250,000 in purchases last year. I just wanted to check in and see if there's any products that you have excess of that you need some help moving, right? Because now you've completely switched the entire conversation, and now they're like, wow, this guy Eric just reached out to me and he wanted to know what products we have too much of so he could take some of them on. And what we'll do is we'll buy those products, even if we're breaking even or making 5 percentage points. I'll buy them as security in the relationship. So yeah, it might be $1,000 or even $2,000 you got to spend, but now you got skin in the game. Another great way to grow these relationships, Social Trading Inc., is go meet these vendors at the next trade show they're going to. Send all your vendors an email. Hey, it's E, just pop it in. This year I'm making it a commitment to go to 5 trade shows this year. I'd love to get a list of the trade shows you'll be attending so we can meet in person. I can take you out to lunch and we could discuss the future growth of our Amazon wholesale relationship. So that sets yourself apart as well. Some of the best relationships I've had in the industry are companies that I've known for many years. We've gone out to lunch together, we've gone to dinner, we've gone to parties. I know how many kids they have, right? Because it's no longer a business relationship. It's now switched to a personal and business relationship. I have a product. You answered your own question, Harry, saying I have a product selling at $69.99, but you're selling it at $74 to get more margins. But Amazon is not sharing the buy box at $74. But I also see the last 30 days, other sellers had buy box at $76. Should I wait? I have no idea, Harry, man. I have to look at the listing. But what I could tell you to do is pop it to Keepa, open up the buy box statistics, and they'll let you know who's dominating the buy box on that listing, right? And then you look at the current 30 days, you see who's winning the majority of the buy box, and then you got to be around their price point to win it. Because if it's listed at $69.99 and you're at $74, of course you're not winning the buy box. You're $4 higher than the other competitive sellers. And if you don't have more feedback or a quicker shipping method, then what's Amazon's incentive to bump you in to the buy box? They have none, right? So what's something you should do, Harry, is analyze how much inventory is on the listing. So here's a hypothetical example. Let's say the listing sells 1,000 units per month, right? The person with the buy box has 4,000 units in stock. So essentially they have 4 months of inventory, right? That's too aggressive for me. I'm not willing to wait 4 months for that company to sell out their inventory. So in that specific case, because I'm not willing to wait 4 months to get a return on my investment, a profitable return, let alone just a break-even return, what I'll do is drop price, move out that inventory, bring back the cash flow. But if you're looking at that listing and it sells 1,000 units per month and the guy in the buy box only has 7 units, You know, 1,000 divided by 30 is what? 33 items a day approximately. So essentially by tomorrow, that person will be sold out. And then you could jump in and dominate the buy box on that listing, you know? And listen, Harry, that's a great question, man, because this is where a lot of people get confused. And this is like the purpose of being a part of a community is because we break all this down for you. You know, one of the most important jobs you'll do in your Amazon business is buying inventory. It's the most crucial, most important job in your entire company. If you're not buying profitable inventory, it doesn't matter how efficient your prep is, how cheap your shipping is, you know, how competitive you could be. It doesn't matter. If you're not buying inventory that's going to sell, you're going to continue to fail and fail and fail over and over again. Yeah, private carrier is usually a lot faster. Yeah, so Nick just asked, how do you create systems for inbound inventory to creating a shipment plan to prep? It's getting very confusing with a ton of SKUs on in shipment. Yeah, Nick, Amazon didn't make it any better now that you have to have the information for the product before creating the shipment. So what we do is we know what products are coming in, right? And then based on what's expected, we're adding them to a shipment in advance and then making changes as it's received, which explained, it's not very informative now that I'm listening to myself say it, but it's almost a too complicated process to explain verbally. It'd be best to, I guess, really do a whole separate video on managing your inbound inventory and creating those shipments, because it's a problem a lot of people are experiencing now. And now that Amazon's eliminated the access to their backend API to update these shipments, it's making it even more complicated. You know, but we're in the process of working on a streamlined, efficient solution for it. You know, it's currently changing as the system changes. So as soon as we find something that works efficiently, we will share it with the EsellersRI community. What's your lowest buy box item and highest buy box product? I would assume you're talking about percentage. So I would say 1% is the lowest and 100% is the highest. You know, I have a few SKUs that we dominate 100% of the buy box on because we're exclusive with the brands. We also have a few SKUs that are private label that we dominate the 100% of the buy box on. You know, and then there's some SKUs that maybe say $10,000 units a month, and we're only getting 1%, but that 1% is close to 100 orders, so we're cool with it. Do you think it's necessary to have a website for visual purpose? Yeah, it can't hurt. You just want to make sure that you're not using it to essentially dupe the company into thinking that you're only going to be selling on Amazon. Listen, I didn't become one of the largest wholesale Amazon companies in the world by manipulating brands and companies to do business with me. And usually when you create a website, that's your goal, right? Let's just be fully transparent with each other. Your goal is to manipulate a company into thinking you're going to be selling it on your website when you're going to take it out the back door, sell it on Amazon. I don't operate businesses like that. It's not good for long-term growth. Yeah, you might be able to make a quick $1,000, but you know, what's that really going to do for you in the long run? It's going to get your account shut down. They're going to figure out you're selling on Amazon. Now, if you need a website because they say, hey, I have no problem if you sell it on Amazon, but I'd also like you to list it on your website, then you can add some inventory to your website. But if your sole purpose of the website is to manipulate brands into opening accounts with you so you can backdoor their products on Amazon, then you have your priorities mixed up. And that's not a long-term business model. That's a short-term business model. Sorry, just saw you online. Vegas ASD, is there events you recommend to go to? My first time going and learning about wholesale. FBA John, absolutely. So in our link in our Instagram bio right here, the first option, BGHL, it's happened on 2/27 which is a Monday evening between 5 and 11 p.m. That is the event you want to be at. 100%. You want to be at that event. Also, FBA John, if you're in EsellersRI, all the information about ASD and all the events we're hosting and all the events that are available are pinned at the top of the Facebook group. So we have a walkthrough on Sunday, we have BGHL on Monday evening, and then we have a private inner circle event on Wednesday, or on Tuesday rather. Best place to buy boxes: local, local, local. Don't go to Home Depot and spend whatever they're charging a box, $2.50 or $3 or whatever it is now. Obviously, everything's went up in price over the years, but we always encourage shop local distributors because they'll have the most competitive rates. You could also, if you wanted to buy in bulk, you could get even further discounts if you have a place to store the inventory. But every time, local is going to beat out Uline, local is going to beat out Target, local is going to beat out Home Depot, local is going to beat out Lowe's. You're going to be able to save, 10 to 15% per box, if not more, especially if you're buying them from Lowe's and stuff right now. I feel like I saw a warehouse question here. Oh, yo, bro, was thinking of getting a warehouse soon. Any tips what I should be looking for? We'll start small. So, Oscar, yeah, man. So, LoopNet is a great website to do warehouse shopping. You definitely want to check out LoopNet. Because you're smaller, you're going to want a space you can grow into. So, I'm not sure what your current revenue is, but let's just say you'd start with like 1,000 to 2,000 square foot warehouse. Now you want to be mindful of the lease you're signing, right? Because a 5-year lease in a 2,000 square foot warehouse doesn't really support growth. So if you could get locked in at a 3-year, which is really the lowest that I see being offered, depending on where you are in the country, sometimes they'll give year to year. But if you get locked in at 3-year, you'd want to communicate with your broker, then the person leasing you the property. You want to communicate with them to make sure that they have other properties available that you could move into if you were to break this lease, or that they allow a sublease option so you can essentially move to a new location and sublease your property out to a tenant. That would be the move. Second thing, you want to ask what their CAM fees are. So a CAM fee is all the additional fees associated with the building. It could be for snow removal, it could be for flowers in the summertime, mulch, cutting the grass, daily maintenance. Let's say they need to repave the driveway. So those CAM fees are an additional fee to your square footage fee that they add. I've seen CAM fees anywhere from 50 cents to $3 for a CAM fee. I know we pay right around $2.25 for our CAM fee, so it bumps up our rent $2.25 per square foot. But most buildings will have a CAM fee. The second thing you want to capitalize, Oscar, if you're looking for small, right? Then what restricts you for small is horizontal space. So you want to get something with high ceilings, so you can capitalize on vertical space. The same way if you go to Tokyo or some of these big cities in Asia, they're very compact. The only way to go up the only way to build is up. Same thing in your warehouse. When you're small, the only way to go is up. So I would encourage you to get 25-foot ceilings. Also, you want to have an elevated bay door. Elevated bay door. Let's just say you're getting one shipment a week. Or that's too low. Let's say you're getting 3 shipments a week. Average cost of a lift gate's about $60. It's $180 a week times 4 weeks. You're looking at over $700 in monthly lift gate service fees. So getting an elevated bay door will instantly save on your rent, because instead of giving a carrier $700 a month, you're putting that money back into your pocket. Hello, I'm an Amazon seller, FBA Italy. I respect you a lot. I would like to ask, what did you think about the Italian market? I currently have 100 products and I have a turnover of 2,500 USD a day. That's great. And 50% margins. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Listen, I always encourage whatever country you live in, if there's Amazon, it's easiest to start there. So I love that you live in Italy and you started selling in Italy first because it's going to teach you a lot about the game. It's going to teach you a lot about the do's and the don'ts of growing an Amazon business. So continue to do what you're doing. It seems like it's obviously working. You're doing $2,500 days at 50% margins. Now, whether that's gross or net, doesn't really matter at that point because let's say net is 20%. Those are still massive margins on $2,500 a day. That's $500 a day in profits. Like that's amazing. So keep doing what you're doing, my GF Consulting. Yeah, Jorge just said you can use plastique.com to pay net terms using credit card. You recommend Channel Max? I've never used it, but I know a lot of people in our community use it. When is the right moment to get a warehouse? When you're running out of space in your current location, right? When you got to jump over boxes and move two pallets to get to the third pallet, and you got to put those two pallets over there, and then pull the third pallet out and put the other two back, and then move. And you're like, you're spending 20% of your day just moving stuff, whether you're in your storage unit or in your garage or your basement or you're in a small warehouse. Whenever you start having to jump over boxes, that's when you need a new place, right? Because you're too full right now, and it's going to be different for everybody. But you know better than anybody else how efficient your process is. And if you're losing 20% of your production daily to just movement, then your business is inefficient. It's time to get a space. Fonsagram says he uses Channel Max. What's the biggest challenges during the first year running your business? So one of the biggest challenges will be just finding those profitable SKUs that are going to move. You know, it's the reason why most people quit. It's because initially they're looking for to make X amount of money, and when they don't see those results, they get discouraged and they give up. You know, but also one thing I've learned in the past decade of doing this is the ones that do not give up, the ones who are persistent and consistent, those are the ones who see massive success. Those are the ones who, you know, join our community and contact me in 18 months and they say, Eric, I'm doing, you know, $600,000 months, or Eric, I just hit my first $1 million month. Like those are the companies that prevail. So I think opening up wholesale accounts, finding suppliers is initially one of the hardest parts, and it's where most people quit, which is cool. I think it's great. It's literally the barrier of entry that makes Amazon wholesale not for everybody. Yeah, what's up, Robert? How you doing? How you doing? What is the moment? There is no moment for sales to rent a warehouse. Obviously, you need to make sure you should support it, but it's all about space, man. It's all about space and efficiencies. I can't stress that enough. There's no magic number because it could be, let's say I say it's 30,000, but you live in New York. 30,000 a month probably isn't enough for a warehouse in sales in New York. But if you live in Ohio, then yeah, it may work for you. You know, so I think it's more about what do you need to do to be efficient and less about how much money do I need to generate. Obviously, you need to run the numbers and make sure you can afford the warehouse and staff the warehouse. But there's no really magic sales number for when to get a space. Yeah, we use Refund Manager. We like them. Michael, what's up, brother? Yeah, when your personal space is getting crowded. Exactly. Do we sellers get reimbursed for orders not received or shipping addressed undeliverable, or we do we file a claim? If we file a claim, where would this be? I have no idea, man. Um, I would imagine, well, if it's FBM, you would have to deal with the customer communication. If it's FBA, Amazon would deal with the customer communication, but I'm not sure who gets reimbursed. Yeah, off the top of my head, I have no idea, my friend. Do you have suppliers and wholesalers from Europe? Is there a limitation to buy branded products out of the U.S.? So some will have restrictions if you're bringing them into the U.S., whether it's FDA guidelines or certain product restrictions. We personally do not buy from any wholesalers or suppliers in Europe, only because the cost of shipping to get it to the U.S. would be crazy expensive. But I do know some people in our community who they do buy a lot from. They specialize in like importing European food items to the United States and selling them on Amazon. All right, what else we got here? Is everybody having fun? Let me know if you're having fun. Listen, give me a fire emoji if you're enjoying yourselves, and give me a turd emoji if you think it's trash. Neo, what's up, brother? How you living, man? Once you get to your level, who motivates you at this point or helping other kind of puts the future under your everyday? Um, awesome. Tons of people loving it. No turd emojis yet. Um, so yeah, definitely at this level, I needed to revamp my entire motivation. So something I did was I joined a high level inner circle. For me, it was Russell Brunson's inner circle, and what that did was surround me with people who are much further advanced than I am. People who are operating bigger businesses, different business models. It introduced me to a completely new mindset. And from that, I learned that in the Amazon wholesale space, nothing really exists for sellers trying to scale out other than EsellersRI, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but at a high 7-figure and 8-figure level, there's a disconnect there for great information. But we have all that information. So then I get a lot of my motivation from my own inner circle, right? Because my own inner circle, I'm able to harvest an atmosphere of some of the largest wholesale companies in the world and leverage tons of information and insight from them, as well as teach them. And anytime I teach someone something, it makes me more of an expert in that field, right? So like repeating this over and over and over again, doing these Sunday sessions. This is Sunday session number 36. Every Monday night in my EsellersRI community, I've been doing a live call for almost 3 years straight, right? That's a long time to be talking about this information. So just reinforcing those ideas. Also, I like reading good books too. What's the highest BSR we go on? Depending on the volume per sales per month, what's the max sellers you go on? So it's definitely category specific, but I'll go all the way up to 300,000 on BSR, especially if I could be making, $10, $15 at 300,000, because then what that tells me is this product's overpriced. Instead of making $15 in profit, I'm going to make $6 in profit. I'm going to drop the listed price by $9, make it more customer friendly, give me more opportunity to win the buy box. Usually we do not buy products that sell less than 12 items a month, that we will sell less than 12 items a month for. It's just something we don't do. It's very time consuming to be able to process those items. If you pick up 100 SKUs and you're only packing 4 or 6 of each of them, it's very time consuming process to do that. Ooh, BGHL or the walkthrough if you could only do one. I would say BGHL. But why could you only do one, Alex? First of all, welcome to EsellersRI, my friend. I know you joined a couple days ago, or maybe like 2 weeks ago. We normally don't go on a listing if the wholesaler's selling on it. Oh, this is a great conversation to get into while we're all here hanging out. Um, Tons of value being provided in the comments over on YouTube. Amazing. Oh, so fees, right? On the 17th, which is 2 days from now. Oh man, you got to turn the volume up and listen to this because I'm going to save you thousands of dollars in the next minute and a half. Thousands of dollars in the next minute and a half. So if you're ready to save literally thousands of dollars in your business, throw me a fire emoji and we'll get started here because a lot of people are going to get hammered on these fee increases that are happening. And I don't want to see that happen to you, right? So on January 17th at midnight or 12 a.m., or right, that's 12:01 a.m., disposal and removal order fees are doubling. They are doubling. So all of you, what you should do right now is go to your stranded inventory and try to solve the reason that it's stranded. And if you cannot in the next 24 hours solve the reason for it stranded, make a removal order for that. Because if you literally wait one more day, tomorrow's the 16th, if you wait till the 17th to make that removal order, it will double in cost. Right? And so let's have some numbers here. Let's say you're doing a $4 product, right? I mean, a 4-pound product you're removing from Amazon, right? The new removal order fees for that 4-pound product will be almost $5 per unit if you wait 2 days. But you can get it removed right now for around $2.50. So go through your stranded inventory, remove any inventory that you cannot fix, ship it back to you, dispose of it, run the numbers. Please run the numbers, right? If it's already expired, there's no reason to pull it back to you because then you're just going to have to dispose of it. And because Amazon charges the same fee for a removal order as they do a disposal order, it wouldn't make sense to remove it when you could just have Amazon dispose of it. The second thing, go through your unfulfillable inventory, make a removal order for all of it right now. Just go to your Seller Central, go to manage inventory, sort by unfulfillable, click all the boxes that have unfulfillable inventory and create a removal order. Let's just say you're pulling back 1,000 units. Average cost today is $2 a unit to get it removed. That's $2,000 if you remove it today. If you wait till Monday, that same removal order will be $4,000. So remove it before these increases happen. You will save your company thousands and thousands of dollars in removal order fees. So please take you maybe an hour or two to sort through the data. Sort by unfulfillable on Seller Central. It's very simple. Click the left box, click the drop down, select create removal order and remove all those unfulfillable items today before Monday so you don't pay double on those removals. And the second tip is go to your stranded inventory and address those stranded issues. And if you cannot fix them in the next 24 hours, create a removal order for them, or they will just continue to collect storage fees and then you'll have to pay double to remove them in the future. So just saves you a couple $1,000. Do with it what you want. Maybe you want to use it to go to ASD. Maybe you want to join EsellersRI. Maybe you want to get your mom a new bicycle. I don't know. Do whatever you want with it, but enjoy it because it's definitely going to work and it's something we're doing in our business. I made a removal order. Quick little story. I manage a brand. It's a grocery brand. I manage a brand. It's a grocery brand. And I have a great relationship with them. I brought a new product to market. I talked to the owner of the company. They said, hey, their product's produced overseas. They said, hey, the only way we could do a run on this new product that used to be in Target, but I want to exclusively sell it to you to list on Amazon. The only way we could do a run for this product is if we get 1,000 cases produced. So it's 8 units in a case, 8,000 units we had to produce on a run. So as a savvy business owner, I took a risk and I said, absolutely, let's do the 8,000 unit run. I'll purchase all of the inventory and I'll do my best to move it. So lo and behold, I'm going through my inventory a couple days ago and still got about 2,000 units left of the 8,000, which Amazon has now marked as unfulfillable because they expired. All right, the average removal cost per item was close to $3. So 2,000 times three, you're looking at a $6,000 removal order for one brand, one company, one product. Right. So what I did yesterday was I went in and I placed that removal order because I rather spend $6,000 to remove it today than spend $12,000 to remove it on Monday. And what's going to happen? We have about 57 days left on the dates of those. So when they get returned to our warehouse, we will then donate them to our local food pantry, get the tax write-off, right? So we'll essentially get the cost of goods in a tax deduction. So we will not get the direct cost of goods back, but we'll be able to leverage an additional deduction in our business at the end of the year, and we'll also get that inventory back. So I don't just talk about these things to talk about them. I talk about them because I do them in my business every single day. And FBA fees are always going higher. They're always going higher. In February, they always increase them. Yeah, so I see a lot of beginner, hey, I'm a beginner or for a beginner. So if you go to my Instagram bio, we have a 22 video, absolutely free playlist on YouTube that will teach you a lot about wholesale for beginners, right? It's pulled from our EsellersRI program. So it's maybe 5 or 8% of the videos that are included in the full program. But what it will do is it will help you find some suppliers, it will help you ship your products, it'll help you do product research. It'll kind of put all the pieces of the puzzle together. So if you're brand new and what I'm talking about sounds like a completely foreign language, pop into that absolutely free training. It will maybe take you an hour and a half to watch the whole thing. You watch at your own time. You can change the language so it has subtitles in different languages and just learn from that. It will really set you up for success. And then you can reach out and join EsellersRI. Yeah, finding distributors is a big problem for everybody. Damn, GF Consulting, you're going heavy. First, forgive me if I write, I don't know English. Products give me exactly all the data I need. It took me exactly 12 months, more and more, plus I have extras. I would like to ask you how you manage to scale up your business and have continuous cash flow that allow you to get to where you are today. So we leveraged initially, what was huge for us was credit cards. We leveraged a ton of credit. And then after that, we started leveraging Amazon lending. So as far as credit cards, Amex Plum, Chase Inc., Capital One, these are all great credit cards. I suggest having 2 to 4 of them for your business to leverage credit. And then we started leveraging Amazon lending. They started off with maybe a $100,000 loan. At the time it was maybe 7 or 8% interest. We took that loan, then they gave us a couple $100,000 loan, then they gave us a $600,000 loan, then an 800. And by year 3.5 of our Amazon journey, Amazon was lending us $1 million 3 times a year, right? Which we were able to dump into inventory. And even at, the 7 or 8% interest rates they charged us, we really leveraged it to build not only our business, but also the relationships with our vendors. Because now we were able to go from, spending $150,000 a month with some of our vendors to spending $400,000 a month with some of our vendors. That instantly bumped us up to a whole new discount tier, right? Whole new product opportunity. It really allowed us to scale out your operation. And this is just our journey, right? And these are the methods that you can use: business credit, lending. You could also use private investors. You just want to be mindful if you're giving up equity in your company, especially if they're only investing money. I only like to give really equity to someone who's also going to put some work in. That's just my personal preference, because I feel like there's better alternatives to getting funding than just having a private investor, take 50% of your business to dump a couple $100,000 in cash into it. And then the last thing you can do is bank loans. You can get an SBA loan. Just keep in mind, if it's an SBA loan, you're going to have to put up some collateral, whether it's, a home or a vacation property or a rental property or a boat, whatever you got, something, an asset that you could put up as collateral for your SBA loan. Have you ever sold Nikes and Adidas? Yeah. So I actually worked for many years with a company who had direct relationships with Under Armour, Nike, Adidas. We placed maybe $500,000 in purchase orders with them over the course of about a year. And at the end of the year, when we reviewed the profits versus all the data that we had, how many items were sold, what the profit per item was, what the return rate was, we ended up breaking even on about $500,000 in Nikes, Adidas, and Under Armour sales. Right. And the reason why is because the return rates were right around 16-17%. I mean, 16-17%, not 70, 60-70, 16-17% return rates. So when we analyzed our numbers, it just didn't make logical sense for us to continue to sell in those categories. And that's just a personal preference, neither right nor wrong. It's just something we no longer do. As a reseller, I made 7 figures. 2 million revenue as a reseller, 6 years consecutive with 10 employees at its peak. Nice, Jan. Jan, you're like a perfect fit for Inner Circle. Inner Circle, we work with 7 and 8 figure business owners more directly to help them grow sales. It's a 12-month membership. You get exclusive direct access to me and Sebastian, access to the other Inner Circle, live events, private calls. It's like next level. It's for anybody who's already operating a 7 and 8 figure business trying to elevate and 3 to 5x their sales in the next 12 months. And when I say 3 to 5x your sales, please, I'm always talking at the forefront of any sales conversation I have is profits, and most importantly, net profit dollars. I hear all the time people talking about, hey, my margin went down. And yeah, but maybe your margin went down 2 points, but you doubled the amount of items you sold. So your net profit dollars nearly doubled, but you're so focused on profit percentage margins that you didn't even realize your net profit dollars doubled because you saw that your company went from 20% last year to 17% this year. But you're failing to realize the influx in orders, you actually made double the amount of profit dollars, which is massive. Gwen said, Eric and Sebastian are masters. Listen to them. I have never known them to steer anyone wrong. Thanks, Gwen. Appreciate you. Awesome, Daisy. Appreciate you as well. All right, I'm going to answer a few more questions here. I think I got a call I got to get on. What time's that call at? That call is at 3:30, so I got a little time here. Oh, with 6-figure debt. I'm afraid to, start over, Jan. So what happened? Why did it fall apart? Why did you keep running it, Jan? I do not speak Spanish, unfortunately. I should, though. Yeah, so any tip to find a local distributor in Google grocery personal care beauty? Yeah, so you want to take whatever city you're in. Let's say you're in Tampa and you would search, grocery distributors Tampa, grocery wholesalers Tampa, grocery suppliers Tampa, personal care suppliers Tampa, personal distributors Tampa, right? And you just scale out your keyword research like that. Also, something we like to do, we call it freestyling. I'll Google a local industrial area to me. I'll put a pocket full of 20 business cards
and I'll literally park my car and I'll walk around that industrial area and just start knocking on doors. I found a lot of really great companies local to me like that. And actually, the Adidas, Nike, and Under Armour company I was just talking about, I found them doing freestyling, just walking up to doors in industrial areas in my area. So obviously, the relationship didn't work out, but I'm sure for somebody that relationship's a great relationship because they, maybe have a little more control on their return rates. But for me, it just wasn't profitable. But there's other great relationships I built locally to me as well, just by Googling local industrial areas, especially if you know the area, you'll know where the industrial areas are to go. My competitor is doing 20 million a month in sales. What's the secret here? I have no idea. I have no idea who your competitor is or what products you're talking about. Or I would imagine they're more efficient and more streamlined in their process, especially if they're a $20 million business. Um, so they probably have teams built out, which is maybe something you do not have, and is something that is required in order to grow. I do not speak Spanish. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Rogelio. It's a pleasure, my friend. How are those videos coming along? You get a chance to pop them open and start translating any of those yet? Shark of Miami said, "Do you recommend buying from other Amazon sellers?" I do not, unless they can confirm their invoices work for approval, which most Amazon sellers they do not. Right? And someone just messaged me a couple days ago. They did something very similar, Sharks of Miami. So I guess they met someone on Instagram. They sold them Dyson vacuums, and they purchased $40,000 worth of Dyson vacuums from this seller. They get them into Amazon. They sell half their inventory. Amazon shuts down the listing and is requiring an invoice in order to get it reinstated. But because they bought it from a nobody Amazon seller who doesn't own a legitimate wholesale company and whose invoices do not work for approval, they ended up having to actually pull back all that inventory because they could not get the listing reinstated. Right. So it's a rookie mistake. It's common for newer sellers to make those mistakes. But having a quick conversation with anybody you're purchasing inventory from and just asking the simple question, hey, do your invoices work if I have any account health issues? Right. And if they say, oh, sometimes or once in a while they do, then you got to be weary. Right. Because I know if someone asked me that for my wholesale company, yes, every single time. Yes, they work. It's 3K, Nathan. No, it does not include the inner circle for 3K. Inner circle is next level. Yes, EsellersRI is considered a business write-off. And if you want to know the tax code for that, just send me a DM. I'll send it over for you. So after you purchase, you can share the exact tax code. And I believe it's even on the checkout page. EsellersRI, it tells you the tax code. It's an investment in your company, furthering your education. So really, the way I like to look at it, 66% you're only paying for it. So yeah, it's a $3,000 program, but really it's only going to cost you $2,000 because you're not going to have to pay the taxes on the $3,000 purchase, which essentially saves you $1,000. Romer, what's good, bro? What else we got here? Everybody having fun or what? The inner circle. So it costs more than a minivan and less than a rental property in the middle of Ohio. Right. And if you want to jump on a phone call, just send me a DM on Instagram and we could get you set up and jump on a 45-minute phone call. All right. And it's less about price. If you're worried about the price, you're asking the wrong questions. It's about the value. But I understand. I would want to know the price as well. course, but damn, I'm way backed up on this gram. Yeah, Matic too. Just send me a message. We'll be able to discuss that more privately. Yeah, I would suggest using a broker, Kai. This isn't Kai the axe murdering hatchet wielder, is it? But Kai, I would suggest using a broker like unishippers.com, CH Robinson. They're going to give you the most competitive rates for your area. No, we do not sell wholesale. Yeah, this video will be uploaded. So it's also live on YouTube right now. So if you want to pop over there, get more of a user-friendly experience, you can pop over there. But yes, it will be not only uploaded on YouTube in its full entirety, but edited as well to remove any pauses. What is your check-in time from the time it's picked up from you to checked into Amazon? I need to speed that up. So Caleb, ours is right around anywhere from an hour to 24 hours. And the way we get that it is we have our own carrier. So essentially the other carrier option, not leveraging Amazon partnered. And B, we use 2D box content labels, which lets Amazon know what's inside the box and they don't have to open it when it gets shipped to their facility. So normally what happens at an Amazon warehouse, and they offer tours of their warehouses as well. I think if you just search warehouse tours, you can go on a free tour of your local facility. But what happens when a box is shipped to an Amazon warehouse, they open that box and they scan each individual FN SKU. But when you use 2D box content information, they no longer have to open that box. They scan the 2D information and that box continues down the conveyor belt to its final destination without having to open it and slow down the process of your inventory being received. Ree said he's contacted Unishippers. They said they only accept customers who are consistent with shipments. So tell them you're going to be consistent with shipments. Yeah, we help people in Europe. We help people all over the world. So my community has about 800 people in it. I would say 60 to 70 of them are international students, and probably 40 of them are selling in the European market. So our program is universal. Thanks, Daisy. CH Robinson. CH Robinson is the other shipping carrier I suggested. We're going for a long boy here. We're an hour and 12 minutes in. Ready space? I don't understand what that means. So will. What are the cons of living next to an Amazon fulfillment center? The con is it's probably not where your Amazon inventory is going to get shipped to. So, even though you got one right next to you, they're probably not going to prioritize your shipments to that facility. So it could be stressful, but it's also not the end of the world. Yeah, what's up? What do you think about trade shows in the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area? So we got the Fancy Food Show, which is hosted at Jacob Javits Center in Manhattan. You got the New York Toy Fair, which is hosted at the Jacob Javits Center in Manhattan. You got Expo East, which is hosted in Philadelphia. That's just three to name a few. And then there's, I can't remember the name of it. It's much smaller trade show. It's not the best, but if you're local, it's worth popping in. I can't think of the name of it. It will come to me. So here's a great question from Ahmed. He said over on YouTube, almost all of the brands are not willing to take board Amazon sellers. What should we do in this situation? So you never want to, if a company says, hey, we're not taking on any more Amazon sellers, you never just want to hang up the phone call. You got to do your recon. You got to figure out why. Ask the right questions. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing the information. Can you please elaborate on why you're no longer accepting Amazon clients? Is it because you've had a poor experience in the past? Are you currently working with a few third-party sellers? Do they manage the products themselves? Now, most of this information you could pull from looking at their listings, right? So that's when the value comes in, right? How are you going to separate yourself from the crowd? How are you going to differentiate yourself? Anybody can place an order with a company, right? But are you willing to invest a little money in advertising? Are you willing to take on some SKUs that don't have the best margins? Are you willing to build out the relationship? Also, a no today does not mean a no next month. It does not mean a no 90 days from now. It does not mean no in 6 months. Some of the best accounts that I've closed have taken me multiple months, some of them even years, to finally solidify the deal. Example, I was just talking about that huge removal order we placed the other day. That account took me almost 2 years to close. And last year we did almost $2 million in sales revenue at 22% profit margins with that account. But it took me 2 years to get it. I didn't give up. I didn't quit. I was persistent. Every trade show, I'd see him. Hey, B, it's E. What's going on? Stop and by. You guys ready to partner up yet? Not really, not ready yet. Okay, 2 months later, next trade show. Hey, B, it's E, stopping by again. Saw you had a booth. Wanted to say, what's up? Are you guys ready to partner up yet? E, we're not really ready yet. I did that 7 or 8 times over the course of 18 months, all over the country until I finally closed the deal. All right. All right, I'm going to get to the bottom here. Dasha, Restock Pro would be my suggestion for inventory management and forecasting. Restock Pro. All right, everybody. It's been amazing. Just to recap, so ASD is happening March or February 26th to March 1st. It's 45 days away. It's free to register. ASDonline.com. Book your airfare. We're all staying at Resorts World Hilton. So there'll be a couple hundred Amazon sellers there, networking, hanging out, gambling, going out to eat, drinking, just partying, and enjoying life. Also, don't forget to get your BGHL tickets. The link is in our bio. We're about 65% sold out. Once the event is sold out, there's no extra tickets. You cannot send me a message. I will not be able to get you in the door. There's a limit to space, right? And once that space is filled, there's no more opportunity. So you don't want to wait to the last minute to get your BGHL ticket, because if you do, they will be gone, right? And we want you to be there. Also, EsellersRI 2.0, a couple months out, working on it. Super excited to continue to provide the most up-to-date and accurate information in the Amazon space. If you're not in the community already, send me a DM. I'd love to get you set up inside, because we're really scaling it out this year and providing as much insights to all of you, so all of you can scale your operations, right? The goal is for me to help you grow your business so quickly and efficiently that you begin to crush 7-8 figure years, and then joining Inner Circle is a no-brainer for you, right? Because at that level, I can provide even more insight to help you grow. So it's our value ladder. And most people enter at EsellersRI. But I appreciate all of you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. If you got any follow-ups, hit me in the DMs on Instagram. And yeah, enjoy your weekend. Stay lit, everybody.